So what did you want to talk about?
I was just thinking about how sometimes I maybe should change my talking about things to like like when you're like at a party, like we were, just finding things to talk about with people that are you haven't seen for a while, or that like like there's a wide range of different skills that you might have to use to get people to engage in the conversation. And some people are like Ava, like she's not conversational, but she's not going to reach in and try to get you.
Right. She's not going to reach out and try to engage in conversation or get you to open up.
Right.
You have to get her to open up.
Right. Or like Carrie, who is just really easy. You just push a button and she's just so like that's kind of and then when you do talk to somebody, you want it to be appropriate or whatever. Like I was trying to get Grace to laugh. She just wouldn't laugh. She just kept on saying, okay, yeah, right. And then I go like deeper into my joke, and then she
didn't bite.
And I'm just kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Hard crowd.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, maybe that, or something a little bit more
that's fine. I think that would be a good issue to start with. And if we need to talk about something else, we can. And it doesn't need to be very long. It could be even just 10 minutes would help me.
Okay.
So you were at a party and talking to a variety of different people. Some people is really easy to talk to, and some people were harder to get to engage with you, and you're wondering about the different kinds of skills that you have to employ to get everybody to open up or to engage in conversation with you.
Yeah. I mean, like I knew some of the names I knew the names of most of the people that were there, but I didn't necessarily remember them. And I didn't, even then, I really didn't know how to, like Josh or Ben, they're like Mitch's, kids that, I don't even know if they really know who I am or, or anything.
Yeah.
But yet I wanted to reach out to them, because I've been to like 2 or 3 other parties, family parties, that I haven't touched base with some of them, and then I was just like, I felt really responsible too, because they're, my younger, they're younger, and they're the younger generation, and I don't just want to walk off on them.
Right. You felt some ownership to connect with them today.
I did. I tried, but I couldn't even remember Ben's name, so then I had to ask Grace, which was good, because then Grace could help me.
Connected with her in that way.
A little bit, yeah. And then, I think it doesn't matter to me if me and Grace talk or not, because I just like being around her. She's just easy.
Yeah, she is.
And then I did have a little conversation with him.
With Ben.
I felt okay about it. It wasn't very big, but it was big enough. I don't remember what he said. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But it was like those little toys that his kids were playing with, and you see them all the time now. It's like the toy, but I don't know what their names are or what they're called. And I still don't, because he told me, but I can't remember.
So you talked to him about that you didn't remember.
Yeah. Like I need more like something to remember. But I was more focused on like the fact that we were talking and what he was telling me.
Right.
I think that was it.
You were a little distracted by wanting to continue the conversation.
Yeah, or just not continue the conversation, but just I was focused on finding something that we could engage in conversation over. And then it ended because he was that was okay. That was it. That was the conversation.
Right.
But the content of it wasn't so important as just that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
The connection that you made was more important than whatever you talked about.
Right.
So it's okay that you don't remember.
Well, I wish I
wish you had.
I wish I had remembered too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that it. You know, at least I got that conversation with him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much you talked to Mitch or Joe when you were there, but
Yeah.
or if Joe or Mitch ever came up to you and said, "Hey, Maya, you know,"
Yeah.
or whatever. But you know, I think that I mean, that's part of my personality.
Yeah. You value that.
It's
Reaching out to the
important.
younger generation.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we're at the same party, and that I want to touch base with as many people as I can. And like Roya,
Yep.
she was really easy to be with because she was doing connecting.
Mhm.
She was really reaching out. I really liked because you know I enjoy her company. I don't know her that well, but yeah, she made it cool to be at a party. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm. So you wanted to do that for other people too.
Yeah,
To be that kind of-
I wanted to have both, you know.
To be reached out to and to reach out.
Right. But you know, Mitch isn't going to reach out. I mean, the most Mitch is going to do is he is my cousin, so I kind of know him. And then I loved talking to Joe.
Mhm.
I know what to talk to Joe about. I've known him for so long. And we really do have good conversations.
Mhm.
And Carrie, too.
Yeah. You find them easy to talk to.
But Aunt Vicky isn't as easy. Partly because I was worried that she was going to be judgmental towards me because of maybe Grandma had said some things bad about me
Mm.
and she would judge me. But as it turned out, I don't think she did.
Mm.
But I think I could have interpreted my original connection with her today as being that way. But then I reserved my judgment. I suspended it because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't sure. And then later when I talked to her like 2 or 3 more times, I realized no, it was just something, some weird thing,
Right.
you know.
So you were worried initially about her judging
I was,
you, but
I
then
was.
as you talked to her, you realized that
it
it wasn't what you had expected.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Or if it was, and it could have been, she may have been worried about the same thing. Because Grandma could have poisoned her mind just as easily.
Mm.
Again, you know, my mind against her or
Mhm.
whatever, and so she might have had a little edge, and then realized that her edge was, she gave it up. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
But I did notice that it was different, and I was glad.
Mm.
Because it's not fun to be around Aunt Vicky when she, you know, is like cold to you.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
What made you realize that she wasn't
well,
having that judgment
part
toward
of
you?
my thing is to go pass over 2 or 3 times to make sure that you know. So then I talked to her again, and 2 or 3 more times, and it was totally warm and caring conversation.
Mm.
And it wasn't necessarily long or interactive, which I don't usually have those with her unless we're alone.
Mhm.
Like, because it's so noisy and it's just really, you know,
Mhm.
she's actually kind of introverted,
Mhm.
but I just really love her, and you know, so I want to make sure I can take care of her if she'll let me a little bit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. You want to take care of her.
Yeah, I do. I do care about her.
Mm.
You know. So yeah. I realized that, you know, whatever it wasn't there the next couple
Yeah.
of times. And even then, if I had found it, I wouldn't have assigned it to necessarily Grandma or not, but I would have maybe wondered about it.
Mhm.
But you never know.
Yeah. Right. You seem relieved to have found that you didn't
Right.
feel like she had talked to Grandma about that or had her mind poisoned.
Right.
By
because
Grandma.
I worry about, that's what I worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I worried about was that Grandma was going to be at the party.
Yeah.
And the next thing I worried about was how many people there she, maybe, whatever. And then when I didn't find it, I was relieved
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good to have that going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurtful.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of dealing with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was really, and then there were some times where I was just so glad that I came to the party, because it was just so nice to, I don't feel exhausted from it,
Yeah.
like tired from it. I feel just nice, like I fit in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a struggle.
You felt like you belonged there.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was so nice to play with the kids
Mm-hmm.
and see the dog
Yeah.
and have the connections with all the people that were there that like Cindy and Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see them a lot, but
Right.
I know who they are and they recognize me,
Mm-hmm.
which is so nice. I think it goes both ways that way,
Mm-hmm.
and I really do like them.
Yeah.
And I try to be kind of funny, make jokes, like by saying things like, "Well, I didn't come here for the company. I came here for the food and the cake,"
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't really care if it's Ava's birthday, but I brought her a gift anyway, and just stuff that was like not true.
Funny things to lighten
Funny
the mood.
things like lies, that were
Yeah.
obvious.
Jokes. Yeah.
But I was teasing Jan a little bit. She's fun to tease.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good with the comeback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you were talking about being at the party and feeling like you belonged, I noticed you had kind of some tears in your eyes. It seemed like that was really meaningful for you.
Well, I felt because the relief of not having to fight the negative value at the party was nice.
The negative value at the party.
Because sometimes, a little bit of my worry was there, and when I saw, okay, that's not going on. Actually, it felt like I could be my honest, self, and not worry, especially with Aunt Vicki. Then I felt relief. That's when I get a little teary. It's not about belonging, because I know I belong there. It's not anything about that, but
Sure.
it was just more of a,
It's like a
kind of-
weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, because it's sadness to me that my mom has been the one that was breeding that kind of thing, and not just personal towards me, but I think I just didn't want to have to deal with it again.
Yeah,
It
right.
was a relief.
You're tired of dealing with that, and when you realized you didn't
Yeah.
have to, it was a huge relief for you.
Right. Yeah.
You
so-
felt like you could actually just relax.
Right, and it was fun.
Yeah, and have fun and be yourself.
Yeah, because the focus wasn't on her
Yeah,
or anything. It was all about what was going on,
right.
and us being together, and whatever was happening was fine.
There wasn't another agenda happening.
Exactly. Yeah, and I didn't have to. I could set the burden of it down.
Mhm.
And and then you're more free, you know, when
Right.
you don't have that, or you can just let yourself shine and be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I love seeing everybody, even if I didn't talk to them all. It's kind of like looking at a movie or listening to a song, or
Mhm.
being like looking at painting, maybe, or reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at a party like that, and you know everybody, it's crazy to see everybody has aged and how they've aged,
Yeah.
and recall them, like especially like Ava. When
Mm-hmm.
I first met her, we were talking about comparing it, and
Thinking about her as a baby
Yeah.
versus now.
and I sometimes go out on a limb when I'm in conversation, like I was talking about at the very end. We were talking about the phone bill,
Mm-hmm.
which I noticed it made. I don't know if it made everybody uncomfortable. I noticed it got kind of like just a second maybe of, I don't know what the word would be, but I didn't really mean for that to happen.
Yeah.
I meant for it to be like, oh yeah, that did change, you know.
Yeah.
Not like it was a really awful for me, because it wasn't. I was so
Mhm.
happy to be able to give my kids a phone, you know, in the world of Wayzata, where like they give their kids phones 2-year-olds, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
But it didn't go over like you thought it
It
would.
didn't, no. So, but that was okay because I was with the right people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people that I was with were like, oh, you know, or maybe they were like, we never thought about it like that.
Right.
Maybe they'll go home and, you know, it's like, oh, wow, I never knew.
There are a lot of explanations for how they could have responded or how they responded in that
I was
conversation.
so happy that Ava had a phone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. And
Yeah.
at the very end, she was looking at her phone like, is that you?
Yeah, that was news to you.
I was like, oh my God, because last time I saw Grace, she didn't have a phone yet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
So you were surprised.
I was. I still am. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, those girls need phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? You appreciate it more when you get it. But I remember when you and Hugo finally got yours, how happy you were.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim tricked me into getting them. Said he would pay for half of Hugo's. So it was $50 a month for each of my kids to additionally go on my bill. So it was $100 a month for me. But if he paid $25, it was only $75.
Right.
So I could afford that. And the extra $25 really helped out. But then he paid once. And the contract is for however long.
Mm-hmm. So you were locked
So
in.
then I knew that was going to happen.
Mhm.
But I didn't know for sure.
Right.
But he was just lying.
Yeah.
But I'm never regretting it. That I was the one that provided the phones, phones for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one thing I did give you consistently. That, you know, and I felt pretty good about.
Yeah.
Even if I couldn't buy all the games and stuff.
Right. You liked helping in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I can help a lot more. You know, I can do a lot more, like, you know, that I used to be able to do. You know, it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But back then was different. It was different.
It was a different time. Yeah.
But I still loved going to family parties and stuff back then.
Yeah.
But I also was like really tired. So I missed some of them. Yeah. Unfortunately. Like I missed all the parties with the Bryce family.
Yeah.
Um,
But now it seems like that's a value for you to come to those kinds of parties,
well, kind of.
to come and connect with people.
It is. If it's not inconvenient for me.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna drive up probably to Sherry's party unless I have someone to go with.
Mhm.
And I don't really like staying overnight.
Mhm.
I don't like some of that stuff. And
Sure.
so So that's part of the reason I don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get very uncomfortable because of I don't even know why. You know, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not comfortable when you're at the party.
Right. I get uncomfortable at parties that are all family. Not with my sheer family or that side.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't ever make me feel that way. But I think it's because there's so much traumatic history. And
With
I
the
don't-
bright side.
Yeah, and I don't really, you know, I'm kind of like the scapegoat of the family.
Mm.
And it's just like to see Sherry and Don, who both love me and I love them, but, you know, we're so very different.
Mm.
And it's really, you know, it's just a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
There's a lot more dynamics there.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotion
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not certain I want to. Everything I come up against is emotion.
Right. You're exposing yourself to
Right.
a lot at those gatherings.
From the point where I don't really have the clothing, you know,
Yeah.
to all the way to, you know, whatever. I mean, it's just, the only thing I really am sure is I'm very proud of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That I've got for sure. And, you know, I hate the questions,
Yeah.
you know.
You don't feel totally equipped for that kind of.
No, I don't really want to sit at a table at breakfast with, you know, all my past relatives that I never see
Right.
overnight. And it's just not my scene.
Yeah.
It really stresses me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have fun.
Right.
It's not my idea of fun.
Right.
But a party like today was fun.
You don't feel drawn to that scene.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even like at John's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun. And I'm glad that I went. But that was about the most that was pushing it, you know.
Mm. That was pushing it in terms of.
Just the stress level of party I can take.
Sure.
You know, I had looked for like several months to find something I was going to wear.
Mm-hmm.
I had tried to lose weight so I would, you know, so it looked good or satisfactory to what I wanted.
Feel confident.
Right, and then buying a gift. Just so many stressors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. And I saw Sherry and Dodd, I saw Penny. And it was nice to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aunt Sherry. Oh, I just can't relate to her. You know, we love each other and stuff, but I love her.
You love her, but you don't really.
She's so spoiled. She's so spoiled, and she, you know, I just, we don't really have much.
In common.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm. Whereas on the sheer side of the family, it seems like you feel more in your element and more like you have things to connect with people
Right, these
about.
people and I have, not like Carrie was saying, you know,
It's gone way back.
we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember a world where with Penny and Sherry where they did nothing but make fun of me and bully me.
Right.
You know, and
You don't have fond
Sherry
memories to
always
look back
had
on.
everything and I just sat there and watched it. You know, and it was just not fun. It was
Yeah.
awful. So I think a little bit of that comes.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much time I've tried to explain it, Sherry, just, you know, she doesn't get it. I love her and stuff, but what did she say say something like, well, you were always kind of the oddball in the family. And it just kills me. It hurts me. And wow, I didn't even know I was to. You just said it
You feel hurt.
again.
You find out she's not that.
I am hurt by her, and I don't over the years with you kids and stuff, they would make plans to do stuff with you. They wouldn't even ask me. Because if I didn't exist, I could never figure that out. Every time they came to pick you all up to go out for someone's birthday, I sat inside. They didn't even invite me. I don't know why they do stuff like that. Anyhow.
You don't feel included.
Right.
You feel excluded.
Yeah, and it's my children.
Right. Like
that
they're ignoring
are
you.
minors. That anybody else who asks the parent.
Right.
But
Seems like you feel disrespected.
I'm
or you
like
felt
invisible.
disrespected.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the gifts. It's like she communicates sharing with money. That's her. That's not my language. Yeah, so I think she is a beautiful person. And I know that you guys adore her. And I like to keep it that way. But that doesn't mean I gotta go to her party.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm there very important to her. And that's okay. She's not that important to me either. It's okay. But I don't want to fake it either.
You'd rather just kind of maintain a little bit of distance and
Right.
let things be.
Love her for where I am.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I think she's going to be just fine without me. You know, I don't need her for anything. I haven't for years.
How did you arrive at that decision to do that?
It was that one day that I saw her and she pointed out how different I was from the rest of the family. And I just was like, she thought it was funny. And I didn't think it was very funny. And then I started thinking it over. And like, well, that was the best kept secret. I didn't know that, you know. Thought I belonged with you guys, you know, but I guess, you know, she thought it was funny that I was a little bit different, you know. You always knew you were the weird, different one, you know, which was probably a joke, but anyway.
It wasn't a joke to
It
you.
wasn't a joke to me. If you only knew. It's kind of like, how do I put it? It's just that I was never important. Sherry was really important, and so was Andy. But I was not. But I had to go along. It's like watching your life from the side. Everybody else had to be involved and they knew what you were in, but you had to just sit there and watch it. Sherry always had the boyfriend. Sherry always had all the everything. She had good parents. Her mother didn't hit her. And whatever she wanted, I had to do too.
It seems like you had kind of a parallel life right alongside you that reminded you of everything that you didn't have.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was supposed to hurt me back then. It was just the way it was.
Right.
And then when I realized it,
Later in
that's
life.
when, like you asked me, when did you realize it? It was like, yeah, I think that was when she said that. It was at a Christmas party that Dad and Jen were having. So it was later in life, and it's kind of like,
Well, everything clicked, kind
it
of.
it just was like, gosh, And then she invited me to Paige's wedding, and I just couldn't go. At first I said I would go, but then I messaged her and said I'm not going to be able to make it.
One of those moments where everything kind of came into focus.
Yeah, because I had to earn money, and they, planned the wedding on, of course, one of the days that I would have had to have taken, in order to afford to go, I would have had to taken a whole weekend off, just pay, and then buying a gift, giving an outfit, all of the money it takes just to, and then bringing you kids and paying for that too. Grandpa would help me get you guys clothes, but I couldn't afford it. And then all the emotional pain.
Yeah, it cost too much.
It's just like too costly. It didn't cost her anything, like that.
Right.
And she's lucky. She's one of the lucky ones. She had some trouble with her dad. Her dad's an alcoholic, and so she, had to live with that. And she never understood it, just like Grandpa and Penny too. I think Penny, of all of them, must have had more suffering, but because she lived with Grandpa more years, like Grandpa Terry got married at a young age, 19, and then Sherry, also got married early, but Penny lived with him all the way in the middle. So she, I think, suffered more. But Sherry and Terry were spoiled. The sun rise and set in in them with their parents. Nobody ever thought that about me.
Yeah.
Only Grandma would say she thought that, but it never really was true. So Sherry had everything, and I had nothing. And we were sat next to each other. And then, they would just dress us alike. So Vi would buy us clothes, but I didn't even like the clothes. But I had to wear them. Because me and Sherry were dressed alike.
Oh.
The same shoes. They bought one size for her, they bought a smaller size for me. That was just the way it went. And thank God for them for, giving me stuff.
You were grateful for that.
I was, but then when Dad and Mom got divorced, that ended. So I didn't have any clothes. And Mom wouldn't let me wear Sherry's hand-me-down. I was smaller because I was a year younger. So it was awful. Even to this day, I can't find clothes that fits me right. And Sherry, she dresses to the nines,
Right.
Always looks just beautiful. And me, I wear the same clothes I had 5 years ago. Because I have a problem figuring that out.
Yeah. Seems like that stuck with you.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of, I don't blame her at all.
Right.
No, just can't do it. Don't feel like,
It's too much of a reminder.
right, it's not that important to me.
And it's not that important to you. It's not, the benefit doesn't justify the cost.
Yeah, if I all of a sudden became rich and had a wealthy lifestyle, I still don't think I would spend a lot of time with them. Because it's just, it's not where I am.
Your heart's not there.
Right.
I wanted to ask you about, the next time there's a family party or something like that on the Shear side, I could rewind a little bit.
I think it's Heidi's birthday coming up.
It is. Yes, that's true. What is that? How do you feel about the next family gathering on the Shear side? And do you have any concerns about?
I'm totally not concerned
Good.
about it.
Yeah.
I cleared up my thing with them because we hadn't been together for quite a while. That's because the invitations were going through the wrong channel,
Mm,
and I was never getting the invitation
sure.
because they weren't coming directly to me. So once I asked Aunt Vicki to make sure that, I got directly invited, and not to go through Grandma, then I received every invitation. That's only happened within the last, it's Dan. But I know Grandma was instrumental in telling Heidi and Dan things about me and telling me things about them, that weren't true to keep us from being together. And so once that was exposed, then we could be together.
Sure. Things cleared up.
Yeah, so, she's not in charge of that anymore.
Right.
I know.
Do you worry about her coming?
I do. If she came, I wouldn't come. But she won't come if she doesn't come. This is a really good reason for her, like President Obama was there or something, President Bush or something,
Yeah.
someone that she can impress, some celebrity or
Right,
whatever,
right. She came to meet Tanner.
Yeah, right. She was the bottom of the rung on that, But, so, yeah,
So you're not worried about that jeopardizing?
no. I don't think she will show up. And if because we're in charge of bringing her, so if she says, if you can pick me up or whatever, then I would be like, I decline to come or say yes, because I know that at the last minute she's going to tell you, hey, guess what? I'm not coming,
Yeah.
So we play it by ear,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Or I can come early
Mm-hmm.
and you can bring her late or whatever,
Yeah.
So work something out.
You feel like there are solutions to that problem.
I do.
Yeah, that's good.
I wouldn't want to snub her or anything at a party,
Mhm.
but I would. But like a good example of that is when you graduated and there was your graduation at Bethel.
Mm-hmm.
Both Grandma and I were there, but I hadn't talked to Grandma since Hugo graduated high school. And since she, kicked me out that summer, but, we didn't talk to each other. She was there, I was there. There were so many people.
You just kind of steered clear.
I even saw her and stood next to her and everything, but because she's kind of got this ability to deny reality.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment, she was kind of acting like that didn't happen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She was just acting as if we were always together the whole time.
Yeah. Like you could pick back up as if nothing happened.
Right, and Marianne was there, and so she made it easier.
Yeah. She
And
was a buffer.
and I don't think she ever knew, Marianne, that I had,
Then it
any
happened.
of that information. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't in the know.
No.
So she was a good
right.
buffer.
So I mostly talked to Marianne, and then Grandma was not invited to our after party. So
Mhm.
I didn't even know about the after party. That was great. And then
With Grandpa.
yeah, and then